This is Sieng Kuang in the northeast of Laos. It's a remote area, made famous by the thousands of megalithic stone jars scattered throughout the province. Rather more recently, the Lone Buffalo Foundation was started in the capital, Pon Savan. It's a non-profit English school and football coaching programme, co-founded by Mark Steadman.
Well, Lone Buffalo Foundation is all about a chap called Manapet. As well as being a local guide, he worked during the day doing on the clearance programme for the UXO Laos, so he was a translator on the clearance programme. And then he would finish work and he would go home to his house, and the bottom of his house had been converted into a classroom, and there'd be 50 or 60 kids standing up to learn English. Some of the boys approached him and said they wanted to play football, and by 2007 he groomed a team that won the National Day Cup, the provincial tournament.
Mark subsequently introduced Manapet to a friend of his, and they set about raising the funds to take the team to the Gothia Cup in Sweden, the world's biggest youth football tournament, in 2010. It was the first time a team from Laos had played in Europe.
We came back to Laos, we'd got a film crew with us by this point to tell Manapet the great news that we were going to take his team to Sweden to play football, to compete in the Gothia Cup. However, Manapet had tragically died very recently. So we continued with the project. We took the boys to play in Sweden. They did amazingly well. They got to the semi-finals of their tournament. But the most important thing was that they were awarded the Fair Play Trophy at the end of the tournament, which is given to one team out of the 1,600 or so that compete every year. So this was a fitting tribute to Manapet's legacy.
Look at the shapes. Is it the same?
Having returned to Laos in 2011, Mark decided to set up an English school in Pon Savan, Manapet's hometown. Teng Vu is one of Lone Buffalo's current students.
English is a common language, and it's the second spoken language here after Lao. No matter where you go, English is one of the main languages. On top of that, learning English is very important for us if we're travelling or going abroad. I feel very proud that this centre was created and established here in Pon Savan, and that it was the first English teaching centre of its kind in our province.
Lone Buffalo also offers football coaching to its students, continuing Manapet's principle of linking learning with sport.
So it's a great way of getting kids into something that's useful, something they're really interested in, something they're passionate about, and promoting the the fitness aspect of things, as well as the teamwork, the togetherness, the self-confidence, which is all great when they can take those. Those are life skills really that they're learning on the football pitch, and those life skills can then be transferred into the classroom, but then they can be taken to life and adulthood when they develop and leave, go to university and look for jobs. So we see it's a natural progression from a football pitch to a successful career.
Football coaching involves both boys and girls, just like the English classes. It's a unique opportunity for the girls in particular, and their progress has been dramatic. The highlight came when 3 of the girls from Lone Buffalo were chosen to go to Brazil during the FIFA World Cup and represent Laos at the Football for Hope Festival.
My experiences have made me realise that sport is very important, because today Laos is a developing country. Education and sport are becoming very important, especially playing football and different sports, because that leads to good health and helps make a lot of friends.
4 of our boys have got FIFA D licences and 2 of our girls have FIFA D licences. So we see this as a really important part of our development, our football programme development, is to bring through coaches, and we have a German coach who's volunteered. He's coming over and he's helping with us, and he's working specifically with those coaches to develop their skills. If you want succession, you want future, you want to build foundations, then you really need to be coaching your coaches and bringing them on as well as bringing the players on.
One of Lone Buffalo's other objectives is to increase education about the problem of unexploded ordnance, or UXO. Laos became the most bombed country in the world in the late 60s and early 70s, and Sieng Kuang is one of the worst affected provinces. It's a big part of everyday life here, and clearing fields, finding and destroying UXO is a painstaking and dangerous task.
We run specific programs to take them out to the clearance fields to see the work and to inform them about what's happening in their community, which is sort of part of our ethos as well, is to teach them not only English, not only football, but to learn a little bit about what goes on in their community and the problems that they face. So there are, at the moment, there are around 100 accidents a year. Fortunately that number is coming down quite dramatically because of the amount of education that's being done in that area.
The Lone Buffalo Foundation has made a huge impression in its few years of existence, and the hope is that it can have a positive impact on more and more young people in Laos in the future.
So to take the Lone Buffalo Foundation and move the idea outside of this province and into other provinces, I think would be a great future for us. I think it's very important anywhere really, but especially important in this part of the world, that we are engaging local people. So we have Lao directors involved in Lone Buffalo. We have a former student who's now teaching with us, and I'd love to think that some of our students who left to go to university this term can come back in the future and take up roles in marketing, operations and promotions that a developing Lone Buffalo will be able to offer.